Good morning, everybody. This is Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. Today, I am joined by Eric Woodyard, who is the representative for the NBA reporter for ESPN. How you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm up. I'm seeing another day. I ain't got no complaints.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So, before we get into your sports media journey, could you give my viewers some words of encouragement for today?
2020 has been hectic, man. I just lost both great grandparents within a month. But you just got to appreciate life and just take it for what it is. Every day is an opportunity to get better. So that's how I approach it. Sometimes you got to deal with losses to take a win. So that's how I approach life.
I apologize for everything that you're going through, and I send my condolences out to your family. Um, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what actually got you started to wanting to work into sports media?
I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. So growing up, Mateen Cleaves, Mo Pete, Charlie Bell, they won the national championship at Michigan State in 2000. They were called the Flintstones. So that set this area in my community of Flint, Michigan, set it on fire, man. And it created a lot of young guys that we felt like they were so touchable and accessible that we can make it to the NBA. So I always had a passion for the game, but I got older and you realize, hey, it ain't easy to get to the NBA. It ain't easy to do what they did. But what I did was, I had a teacher that told me I was pretty good at writing. So I took my love and passion for basketball, mixed it with writing, and the rest is kind of history. So I graduated from Western Michigan University and went on to work at the Flint Journal for 6 years. Then I went to Salt Lake City to cover the Utah Jazz, and now I'm at ESPN.
So, what advice can you give people that are actually trying to enter sports media?
I think the biggest thing is study the ones that you love, but develop your own style. What makes you unique? What makes you special? And really hone in on that craft, on your niche, and think outside the box. You got to think outside the box, because if you don't, you're just going to be like everybody else, and nobody wants to do that.
Fairly unique time with this pandemic. How have you been adjusting to all the unique things that we're doing right now?
Oh man, it's been crazy. Since March, pretty much everything has been virtual. It's been no face-to-face. So just getting used to, the rhythm and the speed of that. It's a lot of work, and it gets tiring and, just looking at your screen all day. But, and that face-to-face interaction is not the same. But as I mentioned before, you just got to be creative and think outside the box and utilize your access that you get to players and front office people. Utilize that the best way possible. Don't abuse it. And just have fun with it. I mean, that's how I've approached it. But it's obviously way, way different than being in locker rooms, being at games, just because a lot of things happen organically and naturally that's just not happening now.
Where do you see James Harden going? What team do you think will actually fit his type of style of play?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to be adapting and willing to change his style of play. I mean, that style of play that he's playing right now is not going to win a championship. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm hearing Philadelphia. I'm hearing, a lot of different situations. Brooklyn, possibility. But I'm not sure, man. I think it's going to be up to him to change his game. And, the Rockets are going to be asking for so much that I personally, and it's not reporting anything, I just don't feel like it's going to get done before the season starts.
And I agree with you. Like, I just saw that Miami was pretty interested in him as well. And I'm like, Miami's going to give up, their young talent for James Harden, who plays iso ball. It just doesn't make sense. So who do you actually think won the NBA free agency?
Man, I think Phoenix, they made some nice additions. I like Atlanta too. Those are the two teams that come to mind. But I think the Lakers right off top, man. I think anytime you're a world champion team and upgrade at positions with Montrezl Harrell and, all the guys that they brought in over there, I think the Lakers definitely upgraded.
So what games are you actually excited about watching tonight? Is it the Golden State game versus the Brooklyn Nets, or either, both of the LA teams?
I'm excited to see both, man. I'm a basketball junkie, so I'm pumped to watch all the games. Just being real, man. I really want to just see how KD comes back. Want to see how the Lakers come back after winning the title. I know they're going to start off slow because the season was so quick to turn around, and just seeing who play, how do they use the rotations. But I'm excited about seeing KD and Steph. The game just hasn't been the same without those two guys, so I really want to see those guys play.
In your opinion, who are the top 5 players that you enjoy watching?
Top 5 that I enjoy, or the top 5 best?
We go both. We're going to go with the best right now.
Man, the best. I mean, you got to say LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and then I would probably put Kawhi Leonard.
Mhm. So let me ask you this: did you watch The Last Dance? And if you did, how did it inspire you to become either a better writer or just a better person in general? Because there were so many gems in that documentary.
Man, I mean, I knew a lot about Mike. You know, I grew up watching Come Fly With Me, Airtime, Above and Beyond, all the tapes, so I knew a lot of stuff about Mike. I think just how ruthless he was in pursuit of winning the title, in pursuit of winning. Like, he would do anything to win. I think, that kind of carries over into anybody's life because you got to understand, like, sometimes you're not going to always be loved by everybody if you want to be great. I mean, that's just the sacrifice of being great and taking it to the next level. That it's not going to always be easy. So I think that was the biggest thing. Is just like a lot of stuff I already knew about Mike, but just that ruthless pursuit of winning and what he did to actually win. Like everybody wants to be a 6-time champion, but everybody doesn't want to, take on that bad guy role sometimes if you have to.
What are some of the pros and cons with working in the field?
The pros are definitely, just being around. I'm a basketball junkie, so being around the greatest athletes in the world, and talking to them and, just having that access. And the cons is just, sometimes you have to work, weird hours, late in the night. Your schedule is never, it's hard to like game plan to do anything because you always kind of got to be on the lookout for news and stuff could break at the drop of a dime. So you got to always just kind of be prepared. It's not like a traditional job where I go from 9 to 5 or, first shift, second shift, like you working all the time. Like, and you're going to be exhausted a lot of times.
So how do you balance being in the media field and having family life or a social life?
I prioritize it. I think anything that's important to you, you make it a priority. And I think you're not working 24 hours in a day, so the time that you have to make it count. I got a 6-year-old who's a sports junkie. I got a nephew. I got a cousin. They all actually over here chilling with me for the winter break, and I think it's just trying to spend that time with them, but, also understand I have a job to do as well. So sometimes that requires being on your phone a lot, and people don't understand that, but you just have to balance it, and the time that you do have, just make the best of it.
What are your favorite holiday traditions throughout the holiday season?
Man, definitely Thanksgiving. My mom always cooking up some great food. I know people hate chitlins. They're not. They definitely ain't healthy, but she always make me chitlins for Halloween, for Thanksgiving. And then obviously Christmas, just, being able to watch basketball games and share gifts. I mean, that's what I like look forward to as well. Just a Christmas spirit, watching Home Alone, just enjoying time with family, around the holiday.
And I know Kobe Bryant had passed earlier this year. God bless his soul. What did Kobe mean to you as an individual, just watching him growing up?
Man, that was my favorite player all time to this day. So I got a chance to meet Kobe, and I was when they were going for their second championship, I believe 2009, and when they played against the Pistons, and I just remember going in the locker room and being a young kid. I was so like naive. I didn't understand how it works at the games. I just went up to him and just talked to him, and like he talked back to me, and everybody was shocked because I think they had just lost, and he just wasn't in a great mood. He ended up doing I was working for the Slam magazine at the time, so he did like a video drop for me, and he just having him be nice to me, that totally changed my passion, for this field, because had he been rude to me, I probably would have just had a whole different thought process on interviewing guys and all that. But even just a small, quick interaction of like a couple minutes to just continue to inspire me, because that's always been my favorite player, man. I mean, he meant everything to me.
And I agree. See, you did something that I didn't do. Like I was beside Kobe Bryant, and I was so fascinated with him because like how everybody, I look at Michael Jordan like, oh my God, that's Black Jesus. And then you see Kobe Bryant right there. That's how I was. I was like kind of stuck. Yeah. So yes. So what can you tell young reporters about going after stories and not being hesitant to ask, the tough questions or just to ask any type of questions?
I mean, just be confident in yourself, number one. Don't just do something just to do it. Don't just do it and ask a question just because you feel like I got to be this super hard, serious reporter, so let me ask this question. Whatever you ask and be passionate about it. And I think they can see right through it. If you asking and you passionate about it, 9 times out of 10, you'll get a good response. But if you're trying to be an a-hole about it and, get that response, you're going to get the response that you want. And I mean, and some people feed off that. Some people don't. It really depends on your style. But I think be passionate and knowledgeable about the things that you asking. Don't just ask stuff just to ask it because you feel like you should be asking. I think that should be the approach. But I mean, if somebody gonna be rude, they're just gonna be rude. I think as long as you're fair at the end of the day, that's all they can ask for.
And my last question is, what advice can you give people about going towards their dreams and making it happen despite any obstacles that they had to overcome in life?
I mean, you got to, man. Like I went from Flint, Michigan to Salt Lake City, Utah. You know, people thought I was crazy to go out there, you know, so I had a dream. I always wanted to cover the NBA. I didn't care if I had to go to Antarctica, to Alaska. I would have went there because I was that passionate about wanting the opportunity to take the next step. So as I mentioned before, staying passionate, believing in what you're doing. If you jumping in, jump all the way in. Don't jump halfway in because you're gonna get halfway results. So I think, you know, you have to be relentless in your pursuit for success. You have to, because if you don't, you're not gonna attain anything. You gotta really be relentless. You gotta work hard. You gotta stay focused and think outside the box. And I live by those principles, and I think that's kind of the key to having any sort of success.
Amen to that. Eric, thank you for definitely joining me today, dropping some gems for my viewers as well as myself. I definitely enjoyed that. Before I let you go, where can my viewers actually find your work or either follow your sports journey?
Yeah, check me out, man. I'm at ESPN. Check me out Twitter, Instagram, E_Woodyard. And I also got a children's book. You guys should check that out. Ethan's Talent Searches for my 6-year-old son. And it's another book on Amazon called Wasted. It's about a functioning alcoholic. So, I mean, just check out both of those books. And, you know, follow all my work on ESPN. It's about to be a big year, man. I'm claiming it. You know what I'm saying? We're about to make 2021 great. So I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, you got to claim it in existence. Man of faith. This is Fago Franklin.